Ready?
Take it away.
All right. In this video, we're going to be going over what is a digital marketing company. Um, uh, uh, where's digital marketing? How to run a digital marketing company. What is digital marketing? Introduction to digital marketing. How to run a digital marketing company. What is digital marketing? Introduction to digital marketing. I just want to get some of those keywords in the video. How to run, what is, and what was the other?
I want to take this. I
Introduction.
want to take you running through the notes so I can
Yeah,
put
yeah.
that on my course.
Yeah.
How to
Okay.
film a YouTube video.
Okay.
What it's like behind the scenes.
Right. So introduction, what it is, and how to run it. Okay. All right, let me this is for Juke Media. I have to remember what channel I'm blasting for. Um, okay, so hey guys, in this video, we're gonna be going over um in this video, we're gonna be going over what is a digital market. Um, and we're going to be doing introduction to digital marketing, what it is, how to run it, and how you can be successful in in starting your digital marketing company. Let's get into it.
Loose lips sink ships. Loose lips sink ships.
New, unique New York.
Unique New York.
All right, I'm ready. You ready?
Ready to go.
All right. And I'm gonna be I think I'm gonna look into your camera as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me switch back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, in this video, we're going to be going over a digital marketing company. What is it? Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be going over a digital marketing company. What is we're going to be going okay, in this is okay, this video is going to be an introduction to digital marketing. What is a digital marketing company? And how to run it.
What is digital marketing?
Yeah, what is digital marketing? How to run a company. Is an introduction to digital marketing. To digital marketing. What is it? How do you run a digital marketing company? We have Brett here from ClickMill. I think I'm going to introduce you on that right after the intro. So anyway, okay, I'm just going to do a bunch of them and whatever we like. All right, in this video, we're going to be going over digital marketing. What is digital marketing? How do you run a digital marketing company? And how you can be successful in your digital marketing company. What is
How to
digital?
start one.
How to start a digital marketing company, how to run a digital marketing company so that you can be successful.
You want to glance here and then glance up there and put your questions on the screen?
No.
Okay.
It's a lot of
You're good.
It's a lot of takes.
No, I get you.
Okay. In this video, we're going to be going over digital marketing, how to start a digital marketing company, how to run a digital marketing company so that you can be successful in your pursuits of your digital marketing company. Let's get into it. Okay, that'll go to the intro. All right, so we have Brett here with clickmill.co and Brett gets, I think I'm just gonna do each time I introduce you, I'll use an authority statistic like Brett's doing about 1,600 per day, or sometimes I'll say 45,000 per month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brett is a digital marketer. Brett is a good friend of mine. Okay, I'm out here in Hawaii, Brett, hanging out with Brett from clickmill.co. He is a digital marketer, and he is going to be going over his process and how to start with digital. Okay, a lot of this is I'm just talking.
I know. You got it, man.
All right.
I preach myself too.
Yeah. All right. So I still want to hold them in on that first part. So we want to restate what we're going to do. All right. So we are out here in Hawaii. All right. So we flew out here to Hawaii to meet with Brett, very good friend of ours. And
that sounds really good. We flew out to meet with Brett. Like, whoa, they're flying all the way to Hawaii to do YouTube videos.
Yeah.
If you're watching these outtakes, we've known each other for a long time. They'd love to hang out.
Yes. All right. So we are here. So we flew out to Hawaii with Brett from clickmill.co to find out what it takes to run a digital marketing company. Okay. All right. Hmm. All right, so we flew out here to Hawaii. We're in Kaneohe, Hawaii, to meet with Brett from ClickMill.co, who has a digital marketing company that brings over, okay, who has a digital marketing company that brings over 16, ClickMill.co. Brett from ClickMill.co. His website is a digital marketing website, and it brings over 1,600 people. Okay.
I would also, just because of my filter screening people out, I would like if you introduce a Christian marketing agency,
good. Okay.
just so if they're like,
good,
oh, he's going to teach me digital marketing, they know they're going into a
No, that's
Christian
perfect.
site.
That's perfect.
That'll help me filter.
Yeah. So we flew out to Hawaii. We're in Kaneohe, Hawaii, to meet with Brett, very good friend of mine, but also a digital marketer. His website is clickmill.co. And Brett started a digital marketing company out here in Hawaii. His website, I didn't say it. Okay, we'll do it again.
That's all right.
So we flew out to Kaneohe, Hawaii to meet with Brett, a good friend of mine, but also a Christian digital marketer. Okay. So he has a Christian digital marketing company that brings in over 1,600 clicks to his website. What do they call that? What should I say?
Inbound
traffic.
Over 1,600 users to the website every day or something like that. 1,600 website viewers a day. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, his website brings over 1,600 website viewers, traffic, brings over his traffic. The traffic on his website is over 1,600 people a day. I'm going to say that.
There you go.
The traffic on his website is over 1,600 people per day. And so he's going to walk through how he started. And he's going to walk through what it is to run a digital marketing company so that you will have enough. So he's going to run through how to run a digital marketing company so that you can follow his steps and do the same thing for your own channels. So take it away, Brett. What is it? What is digital marketing? And maybe a brief introduction.
Yeah.
And then what does your day look like? Maybe let us know a little bit about how you started the company, a quick, synopsis, and then what is it to run the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So digital marketing, marketing broadly is just having a product or service. That's just your business. And then marketing is just taking it to the market. And so a long time ago, we work with a lot of Christian clients over here in Christian ministries, but a long time ago, in the ancient Near East and kind of the Middle East now, they would just have a big city and the market was just at the gates. And so marketing was just putting all your stuff on a cart and then wheeling it to the gate because that was the only market. But now we've got, Amazon and every app on your phone and on your TV, and there's a different place to sell everything. There's customized markets, there's Udemy for courses and all these other things. So then now, where do you put your stuff and on the cart and take it to? Because there's so many ways to take it, and then it's very technical to get it there. So marketing is the act of taking your product or service to the market. So that's marketing. What was the next question you'd asked?
Yeah. So what is digital marketing? So digital marketing would just be that sort of marketing on a digital online.
Okay. Yep.
And then I guess why don't you tell me a little bit about how you got into digital marketing a little bit of your story, because we are going to go over a more in-depth of your story in another video. Cool. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I would say how I got into it initially was through some friends that I had met. And they invited me to come and work for them and train them. And so I worked with a digital marketing agency that was really awesome.
Did you have any digital marketing training in the back?
At that point, I had a lot of business training and I had sales training, but I did not have digital marketing training. So they actually trained me from the ground up. They were getting started in a new business. And so I just hopped on board and I worked nights with them on the side of working days in sales at that time. So
interesting.
Moonlighting.
So you, at the time, you're working, I think, at Haverty's. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, furniture store.
Yeah, you're working at a furniture store. You meet these guys. They're starting a new company, and they just you don't have any digital marketing background, but you do have entrepreneurial background and business background,
Right.
and they're just like, hey, we want. I mean, how?
Let's,
Why would they bring you in
yeah.
to do marketing?
Well, and this may be getting into more of the kind of backstory on ClickMill, but we had a discussion one time. I met them one time at a church,
Hmm.
and we had a talk about a book, which is right back here. It's called The 4 Hour Work Week,
Yeah.
and we had like a 10-minute discussion about how what a great book it was. And I actually hadn't talked to these guys in a couple of years, and they just called me up one night and they're like, "Hey, we tried starting this company where, we work and do marketing with churches and different Christian organizations." And they're like, for certain reasons, we're just going to move on. We're just going to go and just do this for wedding venues. We've got a lot of opportunities in that industry. And so we're just going to shut it down or hand it off. So do you want it? And I was like, what do you mean? What do I want it? What do you mean? Like, you're just giving me so they had a website. They didn't have any clients. So they're like, you're going to have to learn how to do everything. And it's like, well, I don't know how to do any of that. And they go, well, come on board. We'll train you how
Mm.
to run it. You work for us. And then
Wow.
over time, you can transition out as you,
That is.
get things moving. So it was a really crazy jump start.
Mm.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of where ClickMill started and where I started getting my initial training.
Okay. All right. So let's get into maybe can you give me a broad overview of what a digital marketing company comprises? What are the different facets of it? It's
Mhm.
you here, you're the marketer, but I know that you have some interns and some other
Mhm.
workers that, people that work for you. So
Oh,
so you're bringing in 1,600 clicks to your website
mhm.
people to your website per day. How big is your operation in order to bring those kind of numbers in, just so people have an idea
Great.
of
How big was the operation when you get started? It's just me, obviously, but how big is it now? Right now we have somewhere around a half a dozen interns. And then we've got 2 or 3 other paid staff that work full-time, part-time. And then as the work comes in, you kind of scale and increase their workloads and bring more people in as it's necessary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what does a digital marketing company do? Or maybe we should start by saying, who is your clientele? Like you said, Christian ministries.
Mhm.
Can you go into that a little bit? Are they pastors, and what do they want from you? And why are they going to
Mhm.
pay you money
That's
in
great.
order to bring that?
Well, and I think that it's very similar with all digital marketing agencies in regard to who the client is. It's someone in a particular industry or niche that wants more exposure. They want to, maybe what we would say is, increase sales. And then, you wouldn't really say that in the church. We're not really increasing sales, but in
Mhm.
this case, ministry leaders, church pastors, a lot of Christian entrepreneurs come on board with us and either do marketing or come into our training program and get trained in, like a big biblical approach to digital marketing. And so they come on board with us, and like with any business, and this is something that we train our interns and our monthly subscribers on who are starting their businesses, um, is that you need to meet a need. So, if you think you're meeting a need and you're not meeting a need, we call it a pickle pop on the back end over here, because it's like, we all have these great ideas. I have this wonderful idea. I'm going to buy this jar of pickles, and we're going to take all the pickles out and throw them away. And then we're going to get the juice and we're going to pour them into little cups. And then we're going to put popsicle sticks in the cups. And then we're going to freeze them and we'll sell pickle pops. It's nobody's ever done it. And then everybody around you is like, what? Like,
Yeah.
and so, if you're trying to start a business, if you've been trying to start businesses,
Hey, hey, listen, if you have a pickle pop business out there,
put it
write
in
a
the comments.
comment. Okay, we want to know about it. If it's
We've
successful,
done it.
we want to know about
Yeah, well, and you've had pickle pops, and I've had, and that's okay, because that's a normal part of the business creation process. 9 out of 10 businesses.
someone out there is like has their pickle pop stick and they're like I hate you.
He's like,
You
dang
just
it,
ruined my
it's such a
dreams.
bad idea.
Okay,
Oh, you've
sorry.
got to leave that in the video. That was good. Yeah, so it's like, but you don't know it's a pickle pop because it's your idea, it's your baby. And 9 out of 10 ideas are like that. And so what we need to do is we need to get out of our own head and get into the heads of our potential clients
Mm,
and say, what do they need? What's their biggest problem? And so what I do is I just sit around most of the day. Okay, I don't sit around most of the day, but I sit around a lot and I think about, in the life of a ministry leader, in the life of a pastor, what are the biggest problems that I face? What do they do when they wake up? What's the process
because
that
you
they
have
go
a
through?
background, you have a
Yes.
background in ministry,
Right.
right? I mean, you have a little bit of
Right.
background, so you understand what
Right.
pastors are,
Right.
and you talk. Of course, you're communicating
All
with
day.
them all the time.
And so I'm trying to find the problems that they face, both from like a consulting angle, but also from the digital marketing. So, maybe it's difficult to get volunteers because of this sort of dynamic going on within the ministry, and I'm listening to and so when you have a digital marketing agency, what you're doing is you're looking at the website, you're looking at the back end of their advertising accounts and their social media accounts, and you're looking for the ways that you can optimize and increase the performance of these different things. And the really cool thing is once you put in the time to understand how these different systems are supposed to work, even with our interns, we have interns that have brought in just very large clients. I mean,
Mhm,
multiple thousands of dollars a month clients, and they're only 2 weeks into their internship,
mm,
because compared to what someone in a wedding venue knows about marketing, or a winery, or like whatever it is that you're trying to target as your niche, plumbers, they don't, like, most of them don't know anything. So even if you're just ahead of them, you can still start making progress, which is cool. And then of course, every time you get a problem, you've just got to be comfortable solving it on the fly,
mhm,
and you need to get the results. But every time you do that, one more thing.
mhm.
And so you just kind of go from there, and you go. And so I kind of call that in time learning. There's a lot of, you can't learn everything on the front end, do your best. But when the problems start coming in, that's great. And you got to learn how to solve them faster than your client.
So when you say an intern would bring in, an intern's been working there, they would bring in a client.
Mhm.
What does that mean to bring? Do they contact
That's great.
them? What does that mean?
Yeah. So, in regard to, so we'll maybe say lead generation, there's any number of ways to bring in leads. So when I started ClickMail, actually, my wife and I just, looked up on Google Maps and just sent thousands of emails to pastors and ministry leaders and said, hey, I'm a former pastor. I do this, and here's the thing we're offering. Here's how it's going to help your church. And we sent,
Let me stop you
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Do you think, because now you're looking back to when you were
Hmm.
just you
Hmm.
and starting out, do you think looking back that that was a necessary and a good thing for someone watching right
Hmm.
now for them to start their digital marketing company? Was that a good
Yeah,
approach?
yes and no. I think there are more effective approaches.
Okay.
But in regard, you have to start with what you know, and you have to take massive action. Like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's just going to walk up to you and be like, hey, do you want 10 grand a month to be my digital? It's never going to happen. And so you've got to go out there, and you've just got to plant as many seeds as you can. And then 1 out of 100 is going to, in my case, we sent 4,000 emails by hand. We didn't even think of copying and pasting yet. Like,
Wow.
you know, so we sent 4,000 emails by hand, and we got 10 clients in the first 10 months. So we were sending 400 emails a month, and we got one out of every 400.
And this is when you were still living in Florida?
Yeah. This is when we were living over in Florida near you
Wow.
guys. Yeah.
Wow.
So to that end, was it the,
So 4,000 emails it took to
yeah,
get what, 10 clients?
10 clients, and they were very low paying clients. They were only $200
Mm-hmm.
a month at that point. And so that's really low for digital marketing. Of course, I didn't know it at the
No,
time.
you didn't
I
know.
was trying just to get out of my day job.
Yeah.
But
And you were still working
still,
I think at this time you were working at the
the
church.
discipleship school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just transitioned from Haverty's to marketing with the discipleship school. I was working with Johnson Jones, the marketing company, on the side, and then I was sending the emails on the side of
Wow.
that. So
It takes
it's a
a
lot of
hustle. It
juggling.
takes
Yeah.
a hustle. This guy right here is to me like the ultimate entrepreneur. And he's taught me pretty much everything I know on blogs, on our blogs, on our other website, welcometotruth.com. So yeah, it takes grit, it takes determination, it takes perseverance. Obviously, I mean, you've been grinding at this now for what, five,
At least,
six
yeah.
years?
Yeah.
Just literally at this digital marketing company.
Yeah.
And of course, now it's at a place where you guys are doing really well, but
Yeah.
it takes that perseverance and grind to get through
Yeah.
those hard times, which Brett has had a lot of hard times coming up when you're starting something brand new,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You gotta have thick skin, and you've got to be willing to, some of our values here at ClickMill are massive action. You
Yeah,
just have to go, and like you've been making
yeah,
YouTube videos for years,
yeah,
refining what you're doing.
yeah,
So, you know, about what, 4 or 5 years on that. So
sure.
you have to take massive action, and you have to fail,
Yes.
especially like YouTube videos,
Yeah,
my first blogs, or, trying to do SEO for client. You don't know what you're doing.
yeah,
So you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're probably going to lose a lot of clients on the front end because you're just, you're trying to get us going as fast as you can.
yeah.
And so you're going to make mistakes, but you got to make those mistakes as quickly and hopefully with the lowest cost as possible. If you're learning how to ride a bike, don't ride near a cliff,
Right,
try
right.
to ride somewhere, in the grass or something. I don't know,
Yeah,
like somewhere where you're going to fall. Make sure you got a helmet on. So
yeah.
when you fall, you're okay. You can get back up, and it's a little hurt and you're good to go.
I kinda cut you off when you were in the middle of talking about the 4,000 emails that you sent out in
Mhm.
order to get those
Mm.
10 clients, so continue on with that.
Yeah. So is that the most efficient way to generate leads and get new clients? No. Is it effective? Yeah, email still, like, people still check their email. There are more effective ways to do it. There are other ways to do it if you already have, particular skills. So like you can run Google Ads to, landing pages. And if that's the case, if you know how to do that and you can do that profitably, then you are a marketer. So, but
Mhm.
you can run Google Ads. You can just call people on the phone. That still happens. You can text. You can do any number of things. The main thing is you just go where they're at. And so, in my case, if I just go to a church and I'm around and I start talking to a pastor, or if I'm just bump into someone who runs a Christian business and I'm like, oh, that's so cool, tell me about it.
Mhm.
And sometimes that opens up conversation. But yeah, so now would I do it the same way? No, I've got more effective ways, and I have people who just do it for me.
Yeah,
But it was the best thing that I knew at the time,
yeah.
and you can't wait. Like, sitting around and waiting for a better opportunity isn't going to happen. You just got to start with what you know
Mhm.
and just put in the work, and then you'll figure something better out later. But that's why that's why the people who get so much results and have these big companies, that's why they get those results, because they know the best way to do it,
Yeah.
you know?
So I know you've talked before to me, you mentioned, hey, about marketing, the concept of marketing,
Yes.
going to where people are,
Yes.
like you said, you would go to a mall because that's where people are, and
Yeah.
that you come into this situation a lot when you're talking to pastors and
Mhm.
Christian organizations, how they just think, oh, people are just going to show up, right?
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
philosophically that concept?
Yeah. So this kind of boils down to what you believe about human nature. And I want to say, firstly, in, I would say, pseudo business, there is this phrase you probably all heard: if you build it, they'll come. And I want to update that a little bit. And it's more like, if you build it, they're not going to come. That's the way I'd
Wow.
update that. It's never going to happen.
Be encouraged. Be
Yeah,
encouraged.
they're not going to come. And I know you and
Kevin Costner was wrong in that movie.
I.
Just kidding. Okay.
Now, that did used to be true. We have it for a
Oh, Field
reason.
of Dreams. I'm sorry. Field of Dreams is the movie. Okay, go.
It did used to be true.
Yes.
And it used to be true. And the way I talk about it with ministry leaders is like, hey, if you want to start a church and you're in the Wild West with cowboys and, and all this stuff, and you put up the First Baptist Church in a town of 1,000 or 2,000 people, and anybody wants to go to church, they're going to go to your church because that's it. There's a big steeple and that's it.
No.
Well, now there's a church on every corner, and it's the 44th Baptist Church or the
Mm.
52nd. So
And they
you've
still
got,
call themselves the
I
first
I know. Well, they
somehow.
also call themselves the 51st. Like, they really
Okay,
have it.
that's funny.
What? But then you think you got 51 Baptist churches, and then you got 51 Methodist churches and 51 Lutheran and 50,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, nobody's coming, because even if there's 10,000 people a week that want to go to, new people that want to go to church, there's 10,000 different churches to pick from,
Uh,
online, offline. all kinds of stuff, and you're going to get one new person a week, and you can't do that. Doesn't make sense. And it's the same thing with any business. Even if people want pickle pops, if there's 5 other people online that sell pickle pops and they got a bigger presence than you, no one's going to know you exist, especially online, because your website is an island unto yourself, and you got to build bridges to it for people to get to from where they're at. So you start at social media, you meet a need like this, like we're hanging out on YouTube, we're giving hopefully some awesome information to your audience. And then they're like, oh, well, we're aware of ClickMill, so we can go over the bridge here. That's the link or whatever. And then, there's a need that's being met. So you have to meet the need and then build the bridge back to where you're at.
Okay, so and you always told me go to where people are,
Right.
right? So if you want somebody to come to your party, you're going to go to the, I guess if you wanted to have a big event, oh, my recording just stopped.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Let me
You're
just
good.
press record again.
Yeah, you're good. Doing good? Is this all right?
This is great, bro.
I feel like I smell soap, but then when I taste it, it tastes fine.
I used a lot of water to wash that out.
That's all right.
That's all right.
You got to leave that one part in.
Bro, yeah.
That one part that was really funny.
It was hilarious.
That
The
was
pickle pop.
yeah. No. What was the part where you?
There's a kid at home with a pickle.
Yeah. That you got to leave that in. That was so good.
All right, go ahead and just pick up where I think.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I think
Oh, you were okay. So you've always told me that you have to go to where the people are and then, build a bridge back to your website or something.
Right.
So I think philosophically, from a marketing standpoint, if there's people watching that are like, well, what do I do? Can you talk a little bit about that concept?
Yeah. I mean, so let's say I'm selling something super fun like, dentures. Okay. Where do how do I'm going to put up the big store with the big teeth on it, and if I build it, they're not going to come, especially considering this particular audience isn't moving very quickly. So
Yeah.
can I say that? Can I say that in a YouTube video?
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to market and I'm going to take my product to where the audience is, well, who is my audience? This is what you call a target audience. And so you have to identify it is. So, okay, well, I'm going to look up some numbers. I'm going to call some dentists. I'm going to say, hey, what is the average sort of age when people are going to need this sort of product? And then they're going to tell me the age. Okay, is there an income bracket? Is there like, what are other things I can know about this audience that will tell me who's going to need them? And so then what you're going to do is you're going to figure out where that audience, where those people accumulate in real life, where do they hang out? And so you could imagine, you have like an elderly care facility that's got 1,000, people over 65, and probably a lot of them need that service. And so you go over to that, the manager of this place, and you say, hey, we offer these really great denture options, and we'd love to set up an affiliate deal with you. And anybody who comes in through this page of the website, and you guys have all seen this, hey, come over on, and so we'll give you a percentage of sales if it comes through here, if people are looking for it. And so it's like, if these elderly individuals actually need the service, well, great, we have a great service, and maybe there's even a discount for them, so they win. And then the facility that they live in wins because they just have the option and make a little money on the back end for referring what, presumably would be a good service. I don't recommend services I don't actually believe in. And then, of course, the denture company, our company, is going to then have business. And so you have to go to where those people are at, and you have to make sort of almost a 3-way win for you, for the consumer, and then for the business or if there is a business, I mean, sometimes it's just the public park where people are at. So you have to make a win for who's ever got control of that community of people.
And that seems to be a very important thing in Brett's business is he's always trying to make wins. And he doesn't want the win just for himself. He wants
Right.
to, how can we create in this situation a win for me, a win for this person, and if possible, a win for, the customer or whatever as well. So,
That's that's maybe one of the most important concepts that I teach and I train our subscribers, our interns, and our clients. I mean, and I work with our clients and show them here's why it's not working, because you have to set up your incentives right in business and in marketing. If I'm just thinking about, well, I want to make money and I want to have a great idea and then you fail to realize that you're trying to sell pickle pops to everyone and they're losing on every deal, and then nobody wants to work with you,
mm,
because why would I work with someone if they just approach me, and this is social media. This is a good example. We had a client at one point who said, well, how do I get more traction on social media? And this was for an organization that was helping kids in Africa, and it was really great. But she goes, I just, like, I go in and I say into these Facebook groups, and I go in there and I say, hey, if everybody just gave $1, this whole village of kids, we wouldn't have any problems. And, come on, please come give me, donate. And it's like, you get kicked out of all those groups, don't you?
mm,
And she's like, well, how did you know? Because she's setting up a win-lose situation. She's saying, you give me your money and lose so that I can go and save the children. And that's spam. That's what people perceive as spam. When people lose and you're just approaching them, you're the person they don't want to see. So you have to
because
approach them.
you are the one benefiting from it. You're
Right.
saying give me, but you're not giving to them.
Right.
And people are always tuned in to me, the
They
radio
they
station
care about themselves.
me.com,
Right.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They're the most. So, for example, in this scenario, it's like, no, the people you're talking to are the heroes. They're the ones giving the money. They're the ones saving the kids. Forget about yourself. Like, you're just facilitating the money being moved. So, make yourself disappear. All you need is the donation. That's true. They are the ones that did the work. They went to a job and then they donated you money. They are the heroes. And then find a way to help them to see those kids and see the difference, even if they can like link that exact donation to an exact child. And you guys have all seen, I forget the ministry or whatever it is,
Mhm,
where you adopt a child and then it shows you the child and you write letters.
mhm.
Well, that makes the person donating the hero, and that meets a need, because we want to help people. You want to help people. And so now it's easier to give because they've set up a win-win. I
Nice.
actually get to help a real child in Africa, and the organization gets the donation.
Mhm,
Well, what this woman was doing was uh, she was trying to get the donation and she was trying to be the hero. And
mhm,
then she was saying, you just promote me to do both of these awesome things. And
mhm.
that doesn't work.
Okay. Can you so Brett has a like I said, a digital marketing company. So he deals with Christian ministries and he helps Christian ministries to reach more people. He who deals with pastors, churches, and he also has a subscription based as well as his website to where people can learn, where you can learn how to become a digital marketer. So you have kind of these two things going on at the same time where you're
Mhm.
teaching just the average person that they can gain access to all of those videos, all
Yep.
kind of marketing videos. So what does your day kind of look like? Yeah, I know it's extremely busy. You wake up
Yep.
to, I think 6 a.m. every day. You're on the phone. So how does it look practically? Just kind of a quick synopsis of what
Yeah.
maybe your day looks like meeting with pastors or now, okay, now I'm going to be on a call with these people.
Right.
It's kind of crazy.
Well, I would say, firstly, one of the things that I talk about on the back end in our subscription course for people who are wanting to start ministries or Christian businesses and these kinds of things is, you know, you do have to develop discipline. You can't. I was just talking with another entrepreneur, Christian entrepreneur yesterday, and he's like, I got my first couple of clients just on the fly, just sort of whenever I wanted to work. But now the work is coming in, and he's like, I've got to be up. I've got to be up. I got to be ready. And so sometimes the work will force you into it. But then on sometimes you can also just, if you have the discipline, you can just choose wake up 6 a.m., find the time to start getting things done. And so for me, 6, I struggle. Sometimes I'm 6:30, but I try to be 6. And I wake up, I make coffee. Personally, I take, a few minutes to just kind of take some deep breaths, get in touch with God and just take a few minutes. And then once I do that, then I move over to the computer and then I go through sort of my morning routine. And so I usually have an hour before calls to get things set up, make tasks for my team. I do check emails in the morning and then I try to not touch them for the rest of the day because emails are what other people have you doing for your time. That's what other people controlling your time.
Mm,
So I want to start my day controlling my own time and setting my own
interesting.
priorities, and I'll get to that stuff because the most important stuff is the stuff that I know that needs to be done, and you can get spun off, get sucked into emails. So check emails, make a list out of there, and then forget them for the rest of the day. And people will wait.
It's great advice.
Yeah. So that's a big one. And then you get into the tasks and you do the tasks you don't want to do first because the ones you don't want to do are almost always the most important ones.
I do that too.
Yeah, and it's so weird that it's that way for everyone, but it's like the more you're willing to do the least fun thing, the more results you're going to get because the tasks that you need to focus on are like for me, we run a lot of Google ads and a lot of sort of technical things called conversion tracking.
Before you get into conversion
yeah.
tracking, talk about that for a second, because I know that's been big for you. You've told me, hey man, the thing that you don't want to do is the thing that you have to do in order to get over whatever.
Yes.
Can you talk about that real quick? And
Yeah.
then you can go back into conversion tracking. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's so interesting because a lot of running a business comes down to how you view reality. And as I understand it, and I think Jordan Peterson talks a lot about this as well, is when, like, for example, Jordan Peterson gives a lot of these examples with King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. And it's like, okay, you're going to go find the Holy Grail. Okay, well, where do we start? And he's like, go out of the castle, and there's a forest around the castle, and just go to whatever part of the forest seems darkest to you. Because the scariest part of the forest is where the biggest monsters are, and those guard the biggest treasure. And we're looking for the biggest treasure. And that's kind of the way it is in life, not only with business, but whatever the thing is you're most afraid of, that's the thing you should do. And as soon as you get through it, your life is better because that fear has been holding you back from something good, And so and that's true in marketing. When you come to your marketing, it's for me, I don't like detailed tasks. It's just not fun. I like overview. I like talking to clients. I like building. I don't like being in the day to day. Of course, you have to do that for years. So for years, for me, it was a grind. But there's particular tasks, very detail oriented tasks, Google ads and conversion tracking that aren't my favorite. And it's like, that's where I got to start. And then I get to the fun stuff.
Okay.
So the day gets easier. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
got the most energy in the morning. So I'm focusing
on the hardest things.
and then get to the fun stuff where it's easier and then you don't even need as much energy.
Well, the fun stuff for him, but it's still talking. So
Yeah.
you're talking to pastors. You're talking at that point. You set your calls up, right?
Yeah.
So now what time is it when by the time you start your calls? What time is it? About 9 or 10?
Yeah, it varies by day, but I try to batch all the calls Monday, Tuesday as much as possible. Wednesday, we have our calls and our apologetics calls and things, but yeah, so I try to batch them on certain days. So I have whole work days and, schedule the week. In my case, I have time zone issues out here because we're in Hawaii. And so most of our clients are on the mainland. Some are international. Our interns are international. Our staff's international. So we have to operate sort of within a 3-hour time window with most of our calls, 3 or 4
Gotcha.
on Monday, Tuesday. So sometimes that bleeds over into other days. And so you kind of have to work with what you've got, but you also want to be as consistent as you can.
Okay. Cool. Well, there it is. Again, this is Brett from clickmill.co. If you are someone who's thinking about digital marketing or marketing, wanting to learn more about that, or of course, if you're a ministry out there looking to expand, Definitely head over to clickmill.co. You have different tiers of subscription. He has a free thing just to kind of get you in the door. So if you're just if you just want a free thing, you can get that. Or if you want more information with his different video series, then of course he has paid subscriptions as well. And did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
No, I think it's good.
Okay, cool. So, so that is digital marketing. Okay, now let me try and preface into my next video. This is another thing they teach on YouTube that you want to be. It's not.
In the next video, we're going to be talking about.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. So then it's just like a constant flow of people staying on YouTube, making YouTube money. They're going to be,
Yep.
So I am going to put a little part in here that says, hey, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. But I'm not going to have that at the end. I'll have that somewhere in the middle, and then at the end is going to be me promoting this next video. So what video will we promote?
What's the next one on your list?
The next one is SEM Rush.
I would say maybe before we get into that, because that's super niche, what are marketing services?
What are marketing services?
Yeah, because SEM Rush supports the marketing service. When you talk about SEO, advertising, content creation.
So you want to do that video?
That's
okay.
Probably better.
Okay,
And then
cool.
get into
Okay,
the tool.
cool.
Yep.
Okay. If you enjoyed this video, okay, so let me do the first one. If you've enjoyed this video so far, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications, as well as give it a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm. All right, let's get back into it. Hey,
Hold on. I'm just going to pause this